Sup dudes, Superstar Top here, and today we're going to be talking about everyone's favorite floofy space wizards, the Warlock. Now, Destiny 2 has done away with the old Sunsinger subclass and has replaced it with Dawnblade, whose Daybreak super allows you to soar through the skies like a majestic fire eagle, raining blazing bolts of pain on your enemies down below. Warlocks as a class now also have the ability to open up Rifts of Light, which are basically circles on the ground that grant you and your teammates more damage or healing when you stand inside them. Much like the Titan barriers, these new Warlock Rifts offer some great new gameplay possibilities and synergies with teammates. Dawnblades have two different skill trees that we know of, but only one is unlocked in the beta. This tree lets you fire your weapons and throw grenades while gliding, make airborne kills restore melee energy, makes melee hits burn the target and grant you speed buffs, and lets you use the old air dodge Titans used to have with the exotic Twilight Garrison in Destiny 1. As you can see, I am very good at using this tactically. The second, locked skill tree, gives your super's flame bolts tracking, extends the duration of your super with each kill, gives you a melee that burns enemies and causes them to explode when killed, and lets you hold B in midair to drop down and restore health. It's worth keeping in mind with all of these locked subclasses that they may change since they're not currently playable, but this one especially sounds pretty awesome. Now in PvE, this super is a little more effective at crowd control than the Titan's new shield. It also is a great way to draw fire from your teammates, as most enemies will look up to shoot at you once you jump up. This greatly enhances the Warlock's role as a team player, as you can drop a healing rift for your teammates, jump up and draw fire away while your team heals in the rift down below. It's also worth mentioning that you can stack a healing and a damage boosting rift together, provided you have two Warlocks. I didn't get a chance to see if multiple healing or damage rifts stack together, but I highly doubt this is the case, since these abilities are essentially weapons and Blessing of Light from the first game, and you couldn't stack multiples of those. Much like the Titan's barrier, I think Warlock rifts as a whole are a lot more interesting than the new subclass is. They change up the way Warlocks play for the better and can not only help you out as an individual, but also assist the whole team and give groups a reason to stick and fight together. As it currently stands, Dawnblades are by far the most mobile of the classes, especially when casting their super, as this grants them near infinite use of the air dash ability. They can quickly close a gap between them and a group to launch fire down and clear out those groups. This is handy since supers don't grant as much armor as they used to. In PvP, this mobility helps out a lot to quickly get around the map, as the default cooldown for your air dash isn't too long as it stands right now. Rifts are also a great way to capture control points, as they have roughly the same circumference as the points, and can grant you the edge you need if you happen to get outnumbered by the enemy team. Unfortunately, with the universal nerfs to grenade and melee damage, the perks on this unlocked skill tree seem pretty worthless. You aren't going to be punching your enemies a whole lot, and heaven help you if you think you can kill enemies while floofing down from the sky. While the mobility in super and rifts are great, don't expect much mileage out of the rest of the class perks. Still, as this is a beta, it's very likely these specific skills could be changed out, or grenade and melees could be tweaked to be a bit more viable. It's clear Bungie is focusing on gunplay rather than ability kills, a move that I personally applaud. But these things can all easily be changed, and probably already have been to varying degrees. So, with all that being said, let's talk about Voidwalkers. Now, the unlocked skill tree that we have here causes your Nova Bomb to turn into a giant, homing balloon that slowly chases enemies and explodes into secret projectiles. It also lets you punch a foe to charge your grenade, causes enemies killed by your abilities to explode, and lets you drain your super energy to cook your grenades. This cooking grenades idea is really neat, but in practice the payoff doesn't amount to much. While it extends range and in some cases grants tracking to the different grenade types, it doesn't really mess around with the damage much. Once again, this isn't the type of thing to get hung up on in a beta test though. Now, as for turning your Nova Bomb into a dark dirigible of doom, I can't say that I like it. It moves very slowly, and if you cast it from a distance, enemies can easily sprint out of there. Thankfully, this is just one option for your bomb, but it's the only option as it stands in the beta. The locked skill tree turns your Nova Bomb into a damaging vortex, and the rest of it is all based around the Devour effect, which basically is a buff that regens your health by killing enemies with melee or by draining your grenade energy. Now, given Bungie's love for Warlocks, it seems to me that if this second skill tree isn't carefully balanced, it could easily become overpowered. But I'm not qualified to guess that, and this isn't a speculative video anyway. All in all, Warlocks are fun to use in the Destiny 2 beta. Their new abilities make them very useful to teams in both PvE and PvP, and while most of their skills that are more interesting are currently locked, they can still dish out some pain with the abilities they do have. Just make sure to get the drop on your enemies if you're planning to roll with Nova Bomb. Thanks for sticking around to listen to me talk about Warlocks. I've never really been a believer in Warlock Master Race, but I'm definitely liking them a whole lot more in the beta than I am with Hunters. I'll have a video up about them soon. Feel free to like and comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.